Hi, I'm Kane Hodder. You're listening to the Timo and Harley Show. Keep listening, or I'll kill you.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Jammin' Harley.
That's me.
You've been called that 100 million times, have you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I've been jamming.
Hey, a couple things here, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's see here. Space-time continuum. This week is Halloween, so we're not going to report back or anything yet because the way things fell this week or this year, you had your Halloween show, and we're not even in Halloween yet.
No.
Not in real time anyway. So we'll be reporting back about that. So let's see. Still got the my Fragile Porcelain Mice show with The Urge and 6% November 29th at the pageant in St. Louis. Looking forward to that.
That's going to be a doozy.
It is. Got a rehearsal tonight. Band rehearsal tonight.
Oh,
we got
really?
a new song we're playing, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yeah. How long has it been, you said, since you wrote a new song?
Over 10 years. It's been a long time. Yeah. Since we've actually written a new song. And this is a brand new song just created out of nowhere. Like, we've gone back and mined old songs and stuff. But this is the first time. So, first one was Sir Ian Baird, actually. First song written with him. Let's see. Also, around that time, the end of November, beginning of December, we will have...
Ooh.
That is my Danny Hicks call for Hicks hunting. Sir. It will be Hicks season. Yes, we will have Mr. Danny Hicks from Evil Dead 2 and Darkman and Stalking Bigfoot. And let's see, let me think of other movies he was in. He was in Maniac Cop. What else was he in?
Intruder.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? So, let's see here. So we will have that going on. Looking forward to that. Always fun to have Danny visiting. Yeah. Here's a little sneaky thing I'm going to throw in here with my little announcements. All right. It's kind of sneaky. I can't say a lot because I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Yeah. We're talking about the Bigfoot world, and I don't like to drop knowledge in the Bigfoot world because they got secrets. I don't understand why they have secrets. But anyway, there will be a new show that is coming on the Travel Channel that, from what I've been told by insiders, and I'm not joking here, I mean this, I've been told specifically out of nowhere that this is something that you and I, or at least I, should really pay attention to. It's going to be much more of a serious type of Bigfoot research show. Not like having Girl Scouts out in the woods and shooting off fireworks.
Wait, did you hear that, Timo?
Yeah.
Timo, shh. That's a squat.
I'm hoping and thinking it's going to be free of that kind of nonsense. So keep your eyes open. I do believe it is the Travel Channel. And for all you deep thinkers out there, right? Because our listeners are deep thinkers. Deep thinkers, right? Yes.
That's right. We need a better show.
Bigfoot show. Yeah, you kidding me? I haven't watched any Bigfoot-related things for so long. It's just because, look, at this point in the game, unless you have some really compelling sightings with some footage that you can build a whole show around, I don't see what's going on because, it's been exhausted, man. Just exhausted. Now, for people that like to go out and spend time in the wilderness, looking for this thing or being out there hoping to have an experience at the very least. That's great. I don't think that's ever going to go or die away, but there's no new info to entertain people with. It's good. Because I think it was getting a little overboard without any kind of facts, no reality to it.
Sure.
It's like the ghost shows to me. It's like, all right, done, enough.
What about mountain monsters or whatever?
Moving on, Mr. Ben. Moving on. So let's see here. And last up, Mr. Ben Harley, for all of our listeners, all of our deep thinkers out there that have been following Angio's health progress, we just went to the doctor yesterday, and she is cancer-free as of now. So the treatments And the other things that we have done in concert apparently have worked. And so she is very cancer-free. The doctor was very, very excited and very pleased with the new scan and the results. Now, she has to go back again in 6 months. Doctor said, look, we all know how this is. We all live in reality. Not saying it's gone forever for 100%. It could come back, but the odds are looking real nice that Angie's going to be stuck with me for a few more years at least.
Oh, poor girl.
I know.
Jeez. Well, she got some good news, I guess. So
and all the ladies, all the deep thinker ladies got good news too, because there'll be one less Timo on the market to bother him, right? They'll be sending him weird pics on social media and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, dodged a bullet.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but very, very good news. Very good news.
Yes.
I'm very happy. Of course, me and Angie are a very, very happy team. And so very good.
You should be. The cancer, it's been a big scare.
Oh, God, yeah.
And the Timo and Harley show has been affected. Yeah.
And everything was affected. Yeah.
Caitlin, my daughter too, saying she her thyroid came back and it was cancerous, but she's good now. So she will not have to have the treatment.
Very good. So they got it out of her basically.
Yes,
so what they pulled out,
removed it.
Then they gave her a scan, correct? And then after they scanned her, nothing lit up. They call it lighting up.
Right.
Nothing lit up.
Yeah.
So what was pulled out was like a tumor that had metastasized, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
and like I said, it was cancerous, but it had not. Yeah. So she will not need radiation.
Good.
So,
good.
yes,
Excellent. That's also excellent news.
Yes.
So Timo and Harley show has beat cancer.
Yes,
we beat them up. At least the women folk around us are the tough ones. Right. The tough ones beat the cancer. I'd be in the bed right now with a cold pack in my head and a thermometer sticking out of my mouth. And Angie'd be like, "Tim, you're clean." I don't feel it yet. I don't feel it. I need more help. But very good. Very good that health-wise things have gone in the correct direction around the Timo and Harley show. So very, very good.
Yes.
Very glad about your daughter too. It's very good.
Thank you,
everybody out there, and I'm not going to harp on this. It's just like I quit smoking and I'm a bigger smoking advocate now than I was before. Because now I feel like I have the ability to be a smoking advocate because I don't smoke.
Right.
If you want to do it, do it. All right.
Yes,
Is it going to kill you? Yeah, walking in traffic can too. You know?
Yes, sir.
So the thing is, though, is that from Ben Harley's statement there that his daughter had cancer. They took it out of her. She's fine. If you feel something, go get it checked. Because it is
felt
true.
Something,
yes.
And she waited a little bit. And I'm glad she did take the initiative, but I think she was a little scared at first, you know.
And that's why a lot of people don't. They don't want to know. But if you feel something, just go. You don't have to do anything about it. And people think
she was
go.
Young. She was in her 26. You know, she just turned 27 just in August. So,
and Angie's young for.
Yes,
I mean, I mean, they're both. Your daughter's much younger, but I'm just saying they're both young women, and they both went early enough.
And that's the most important thing. Right. So,
so if you feel something, just go get it checked real quick, and they'll trust me on this. It'll in the long run, it really helps. Also, get a doctor who answers your questions.
Yes, and that was a big thing for us going in because you guys had some issues, and it made me really think. Plus, you know, you have to, and you have to stand up, and I did for my daughter as much as I could. And ask questions as much as I could and try to be there for her like you were for Angie and stuff too. It's hard. It's hard because you're overwhelmed.
Right.
You're overwhelmed.
Right.
But, but you have to stick up for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything was going good now. So very good news on both fronts there.
Yeah.
Yes, but get checked. If you feel something, get checked, and then make sure after you've been checked, no matter what the diagnosis is, just find a doctor who answers your questions you feel comfortable with, that you feel like isn't rushing you out. It doesn't have something else better to do. That's it. That's the key to everything.
Because the stress, right, Timo?
Oh yeah, it's a killer. It really is. Yes. And when you're young, you hear that, and it's just a cliche. When you get older, you start seeing your friends dying, and you realize they're dying of things.
More too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So. Anyway, those are public service announcement. But Ben Harley, we don't have to worry about that because our audience here is deep thinkers. They had this figured out ahead of the game. Yeah. We're like their core gestures, basically. They're the smart ones, and they're making fun of us. They're laughing at us, not with us.
Exclamation point at the end of their sentence.
Yes, exactly. So let me get to some stuff I watched this week, Mr. Ben Harley. Now, we just started Halloween week, so
last night was a good night.
Yeah, little Halloween.
I was surprised. Yeah.
So let's see here.
Lay it on me, my man. Lay it on me.
Oh, we got from 1964, Mr. Ben Harley. Watch the Vincent Price, Roger Corman film "Tomb of Ligeia."
I think this was
this I think was the last of the big Roger Corman. Edgar Allan Poe.
House of Usher was just on the other night.
Was it? That's a good one. That's a real good one. Yeah, I liked it. They're very subtle movies, but Vincent.
They look good though.
They do look good. Yeah. They've been cleaned up real nice. They've been scanned real well.
Colors.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of fun to watch. Tomb of Ligeia is like the last one I think they did together like that, and it's a little. Pretty subtle. It's pretty subtle. Yeah, it's a little bit more of, is that woman possessed by Vincent Price's old wife, or is she just doing this on purpose? But it's interesting. It's a classic, and it was a pleasure to watch. It was fun to watch. Let's see here, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's just talk about this since it is Halloween. I'll backtrack a little bit. We did with Chance. On Saturday, we did watch Peanuts. It's the Great Pumpkin. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did watch that. That was, that's from 1966. If you can believe that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then also from 1977, buddy, we watched. The Fat Albert Halloween special.
How'd that go?
I don't care. I saw Mudfoot. Mudfoot's my man. My man is Mudfoot. That's all I'm telling you right now. I love Mudfoot. What's really strange is that it has become a tradition to watch the Fat Albert Halloween special around here. As a matter of fact, when we were sitting down as a family, Chance wasn't super happy because he had games to get to and things, and video games and stuff. So he begrudgingly came up and sat down with us. We started watching It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. He goes, "Oh, I thought we were watching Fat Albert." Like, his memory is Fat Albert. He doesn't even know. He's like, oh, we're watching this too? Oh, you added this? I mean, our tradition is Fat Albert, Mudfoot, right? So I'm like, yes. But
nice.
Good time watching that. Fun stuff. Let's see here.
I like the Great Pumpkin, though. That's a good one, too.
I do, too.
I love it.
That one's got the extended... Well, that one has the extended Snoopy going through the French countryside and...
Oh, yeah, that one's crazy, isn't it?
With Campbell and he's World War I ace. Yeah. That's good. Let's see, moving on. More 1960s stuff, Mr. Ben Harley. From 1965, Angie and I watched Die, Monster, Die.
Ooh, okay.
That's the one with Nick Adams and Boris Karloff, and it's the H.P. Lovecraft story, The Color from Space, or whatever, where there's the plant of some sort or the meteorite that's causing like radiation to happen inside of Karloff's home. So Karloff ends up turning into a silver man at the end. If you remember.
Oh, yeah.
So, very fun. Angio asked for something gothic. I said, well, this is goofy and gothic, so let's do this.
Goofy. There you go.
It's like, you got Tomb of Ligeia. What do you want, woman? Yeah. So
what more do you want?
Right. Let's see here. Sticking with let's slip up to 1972 real quick. This is on Amazon Prime, so I wanted to mention this because I haven't seen this probably in 20 years. And it came out on Blu-ray, and it was one of the Blu-rays. I'm like, I don't need that. And then I watched it on Prime. I'm like, I need that. It's already bought. It's already bought. So, watched Invasion of the Blood Farmers.
Wow.
From 1972. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Okay. So this is one of these movies where it costs like $20,000 to make, and the cast was paid in beer. It's one of those deals. Some of the people who were involved with Shriek of the Mutilated are involved in this. It's a movie about these, I guess they're druid cult freaks that are farming people's blood to bring back their dead queen or something. But it's funny as shit. And there is a character in it, a sheriff. He must have bankrolled the movie. He is the absolute most hysterically worst actor I have come closer. I have ever seen.
So
he's a pleasure to watch, a joy to watch.
Joy.
Yes.
Absolute joy, huh?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy in a movie a bulldozer could sneak up on. Okay, so it's one of those deals. But it is on Prime. I highly recommend this movie. Well, it's very funny, and it's kind of, I don't want to say creepy. It's just a real good mix of everything. You know, it's like, it's funnier than it should be because it's not funny. It's more entertaining than it should be because it's really bad. And it's got moments where you're like, ew, you know, and they're pumping blood through tubes out of people and stuff. And I don't know.
Stuff.
Yeah, the people who die in really wild and awkward ways. Like they'll roll around the floor for a while with their tongue hanging out and stuff. You know? So really, really working for that Oscar nod. Again, Invasion of the Blood Farm was 1972. So getting back to the 60s.
I think I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
Okay. Yeah, you might have. You might have. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have.
You can see it on VHS. It was a Fangoria still movie to me, meaning stills. I saw stills in Fangoria when I was a kid in poster art, and I had to see it. So
okay, yeah.
Let's see. Moving on back to the 60s, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's see.
See, are you feeling comfortable?
Well, I'm going to end in the 80s, but there's something we can both talk about, so that's what I'm waiting for. But from 1968, Summer of Love. Was it the Summer of Love, 68?
I think 68 was the Summer of Love.
Okay, well, we have these...
I think I was made or created in the summer of 69, so I don't know.
Let's not go there. It's a family show. Let's see. I watched The Green Slime.
Oh, yes. Love me The Green Slime, buddy.
Yep. Went back and watched it.
Yeah, I love how that opens.
I do too. It's a great song. So, and we got Richard Jekyll in it. We both like Richard Jekyll.
Right. Well, it's just like, okay, this is what's going on. Meteor, boom, music. Right. Green Slime. Oh, it's great, man. Now that's all movies should start like that for me.
Yeah. Talking about colors and stuff. What a wonderfully brash movie. Yeah. I talk about brash effects in like this 50s and 60s. They're brash. I mean, they throw this shit in the camera. Like, I know it sucks, but here you go. I love that. Don't hide it. Just show it to me. Let me laugh. Yeah. Let me enjoy it. I mean, they don't hide these fucking monsters. Oh, they don't hide nothing. No. And they throw everything at you. Awful effects, awful spaceships. There's spaceships on fire with flames twice as big as the spaceships and smoke. If you find smoke in space, buddy, you're not in space. I'm just letting you know.
No.
And like the space station will tilt and everyone like jumps around and falls. It's like gravity? Gravity, anyone? But let's not split hairs here, shall we? But
no, sir. Why ruin a good movie?
Exactly. Well, I'm going to make this movie better for you.
Okay.
And this movie is going to make this movie so much better for you that you're going to dig out your DVD or whatever it is I gave you, and you're going to watch it.
I think the Blu-ray maybe.
I probably did. That's what I watched it on.
Yeah.
So sit down for this.
Okay.
This movie
I got my shoes on tight.
Was one of the few credited screenplays for a gentleman by the name of Bill Finger.
Ooh, all right.
You know who Bill Finger is? Yes.
Batman fame, yes. Wow, that's good.
That's all I had to say.
Bill Finger.
Bill Finger is the person who's not credited enough for Batman, and Bob Kane is a little over. He is now. Yes.
He is now, which is great, which is good. Man, we won't go down that road too much, but yeah, good for him because that's awesome. Well, good for him now.
yeah. So, but I just thought that you would find that. Yeah, I did not know that. Like, I didn't. I was watching it, and I'm like looking, going, "Wait a minute." You know, it's like one of those moments where, like, hold on a second. Wait, I see what I'm seeing here. Yeah. And it's nice when you see in a movie that you've seen since you were a kid, and you catch something new, even if it's something like that, even technical something like that. So, very fun. Very good stuff.
That's awesome. Buddy.
Yes, very good. And last up, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yes.
This was a pretty good, I think, Halloween-y movie that we watched. And for all you deep thinkers out there, this is probably one that you should be watching and thinking deeply about. From 1983, we watched Psycho 2.
Ooh, you did you?
Yes, we did. Now,
I like Psycho 2 and 3, actually.
I do. 3's not too bad. I'm not quite as big, but I think that it's acceptable. Let's put it that way. Much more acceptable than it needs to be. However,
Yeah.
So
it's weird because I loved those movies, but I haven't watched them much. I know we reviewed them, but it's been so long. I don't, no, this is the one with, what's her name in it? The girl, she's
Meg
like the
Tilly?
nun, right? Yeah.
Meg Tilly. Yeah. Jennifer Tilly's sister.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Dean Koondy does the cinematography.
Oh, really? No wonder it looks so good.
Yes, so it does. It looks very good, that too. But as we were watching the movie, and of course the crew and the cast is wonderful and stuff and everything, and we're watching this, I'm just thinking, what a movie. What a sequel. I mean, how it plays with the story of the first movie, how it manipulates the audience. Now, all of a sudden, Meg Tilly, her mom's on the scene, and she's got a problem with her mom. So all of a sudden, is Meg Tilly going to be the next Norman Bates, and she's got problems with her mom? You're like, oh, and then it twists around. No, maybe not. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And then by the end of it, you're just like, wait, what?
Well, yeah.
And that's just brilliant. I mean, Psycho 2 to me is a movie that, I don't care what people think about it. It is on par with Psycho.
I think it is.
Yeah,
pretty close, buddy. And I'm glad to hear you say that because when I was younger, I really liked 2 and 3 a lot. I mean, a lot. There's parts, and I'm not sure if it's this one. I think where he comes out dressed like Mother, and he's like, "You leave my son, my poor Norman, alone." And I don't know if it's this one or 3, but I think
it's 3.
It's one of the freakiest things of all time to me. Like freaky,
right?
But he's so good in this because you still feel for him in this one.
Well, you don't
feel, you still feel bad for him in a way because he's still getting messed with, and they're doing stuff to him behind the scenes, and stuff like that. But I just like the way this plays out. And then the ending to this one is one of my favorite endings of any movie ever.
Yeah.
Man. It's
incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome. You kind of see it coming, but then it's still just every time you see it, it's like, wow. Like he's back.
Right. I don't think you do see the very, very end coming. I mean, it's one of those movies where they're telling you.
Yeah.
What the trick of the movie is that the only guy that's got this thing right the whole time is Norman Bates.
Yep.
And that's the trick of the movie. And that's what's so cool about it is that they tricks you into twisting yourself.
Yeah.
They like forcing yourself into a twist, into a plot twist or something. And it's just so clever. It's so damn clever that it just blows my mind. What I find fun is that for fans of the movie Halloween, to go back to Psycho and look at the connections is insane. First of all, what's Donald Pleasant's character's name? Sam Loomis.
Loomis, yeah.
Okay, well, Sam Loomis is Janet Leigh's boyfriend in Psycho. That's where the name comes from. Janet Leigh's daughter is in Psycho, or is in Halloween.
In Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, we have a few direct connections and stuff to this. So,
and I think it's the second coming of Psycho.
Halloween. A little bit. Yeah. Yep. And,
to me, I mean, it's not Norman Bates, but to me, it's the second coming as far as that genre.
Well, okay. Yeah. So you're right. So let's say a slasher film.
Yeah.
To use the term. Sometimes I don't like the term.
Yeah.
But let's use the term slasher film. You had Mother that you could cosplay or dress up as in Halloween. And then you had the next one, if you can find it, let me know. But the next one would be Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So for between 1960 and 79, for almost 20 years, that's what you had.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. So, but what a pleasure, Mr. Ben Harley. I sort of, okay.
Oh, great.
You need to go back and watch Invasion of the Blood Farmers and Psycho 2 and the Green Slime for Bill Finger. How about that?
Yeah.
I got your week planned for you. There you go.
Thank you, my friend. Oh, yeah.
But, just a pleasure to watch. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. What you got?
Tim, I got lots of stuff, but we'll try to breeze through these real quick, too, It being the Halloween season, Timo, I was actually... I went to Home Depot the other night to buy some fuses and came home with
Halloween for you.
Animatronic robots, or they're not robots. They're my friends, Timo. I got a giant 7-foot werewolf.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because, I thought about Timo, being a werewolf guy. We're werewolf dudes. So,
sure.
that and a Wicked Witch. But Tim, it's been
so you got some big,
since,
just for the audience. So you got big
yes.
animatronic, those big like stand up guys. They're like real tall. And they move
Yes.
their mouth and they make noises too and stuff? Or?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. The witch, she talks. The werewolf, their eyes light up. He howls and moves around. And Timo, it's funny because it's not very often that I like, you buy something and it exceeds your expectations. You know what I mean? And these did. I was like, holy crap. I mean, when it says it's 7 foot tall, it's 7 foot tall, like this werewolf. And, I messed around, dressed him up, threw some blood on him, jazzed him up some. But, what a lot of fun. So it's probably been since 1983 that I was so excited about something horror. So, yeah, it was fun. I felt like a little girl here. I was like, I'll run around and putting together my stuff. So it really made this Halloween kind of come together a little bit more for me.
Would it stop the legend from coming in?
No. It might. I might come in. He might be curled up with it. You never know. I don't know. The Wicked Witch looks an awful lot like Brett nowadays.
You have to call the cops, get Brett off your werewolf.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is he fighting him? I wouldn't call it fighting.
Fighting, like he's just tied up with him. I think he fell into him. Right. He's just tangled up.
Yeah.
Well, keeping with the werewolf spirit, Timo. Now I know this is one that is near and dear to your heart, and I watched this one last night. Timo, yesterday and last night. I've been taping some stuff on AMC, but this is a little movie by Stephen King called Silver Bullet.
Yeah,
and I know this is one that's near and dear to your heart and mine as well. But I think
Cycle of the Wolf, or the Cycle of the Werewolf. That's the story, right?
Yeah, and I think you kind of like this one maybe even more because you compared it to Kill a Mockingbird, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I think yes, and I think I think you're pretty spot on there.
Mm-hmm.
And but I enjoy this movie, man. Like I still think this one gets better and better. Now, some of these movies from the '80s show some of their pimples, but you know what? I've learned to kind of deal with it a little bit more, and I actually kind of like it because it's less talk. There's less stuff, and there's a little bit more awkward situations. Now, for me, sometimes you'd be like, that's not really, probably wouldn't happen. But like, I still, I don't know. I like the flow of the movies. It's just, there's not so much talking. There's not so much, everything has to be going on all the time. I like the pace of this film. I know I used to like Gary Busey a lot more in this movie when I was younger. But I still enjoy him. I still think he's good. Some of it's over the top, or some of it he looks like he's just kind of going with the motions. But I love the character of Uncle Red. It's a good.
He's more endearing when you're a kid because you want an uncle like that. But when you're an adult, you don't want your brother to be doing that for your kids. So it's a bit of a it switches a little bit for you when you get older. Right.
Yeah, but I do still like some of the stuff because it's like he cares for him, and then plus having you and I both having. Children with special needs,
right?
Both wheelchair bound,
right?
This movie hits me a little closer to the heart too, so which is good, and I think it's awesome. And it doesn't make me sad; it makes me proud that this movie was made. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but yeah, I love that movie, and I always forget his name, the guy that plays the werewolf and from
Everett
People Under the Stairs. Yeah, love that guy.
Yeah, no, he's really good.
I still think Dick Hammer should go as him in this movie with the eye patch, man. I think Dick Hammer would look good for Halloween.
He's got, some of the bone structure of his face is similar. Yeah.
I think that would be a good costume. I'm going to have to tell him later.
Yeah, I actually was at a party one time, and it was in Collinsville, Illinois, and that's a long time ago. I was in my early 20s or something, and there was these two guys I was talking to. And the one guy looks over and says, "Hey, have you ever seen Silver Bullet?" I go, "Of course I've seen Silver Bullet." Yeah, the guy didn't know who he was talking to. Basically, he knew who he was talking to. He didn't know I was a big movie guy.
Sure.
He goes, "Well, my uncle's in that movie." I go, "Who's your uncle?" He's Everett McGill. I go, "Your uncle's Everett McGill?" He goes, "Yeah." And the other kid goes, "That's wild. My uncle's Reb Brown."
What?
I looked over. I'm like, "Your uncle's Reb Brown, Captain America? What?" So yeah, that was.
Oh my God!
I was in a weird sandwich at that moment. Yeah, that was.
I guess so.
That's a moment I'll never forget. I've never met either one of these two gentlemen, but their nephews I partied hardy with.
So, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
And it was like I know they weren't lying because those are two things you don't make up. You would say my uncle's Brad Pitt. I mean, okay, you can make that up, but my uncle is Reb Brown. You don't make that up.
No,
it's not.
No, you don't.
No, it's not.
So anyway, I loved it. Love watching it again. Okay, sticking with the werewolf theme. I tried to watch the Halloween 2.
Oh, what? You know better than that. Come on. The only person who didn't know better was Christopher Lee. Ben Harley. Now, how is it? I want to ask you. Hold on. Time out. Stop right now.
Yeah.
How the fuck is it that I tell a story from like 20 some odd years ago about Reb fucking Brown?
Yes.
And then you tell me you watch Halloween 2 or the Howling 2 starring Reb Brown. Am I correct? That's Reb Brown.
Yes.
That's weird. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. It's even weirder that you know. Come on now. The only person that didn't know better than was Christopher Lee. That's the only person who didn't know any better.
I don't think I've tried to watch this movie since the first time I ever watched it back when it came out because I was horrified. And that's when I went through. I kept on till I think part 4 or 5 of the Howling before I was like, I know you just hate me. You people hate me. So
Caddyshack 2 of horror films.
Oh God, dude, and I apologize. No, I don't apologize because I didn't watch all of it because it was on AMC in rotation, and I kept coming back to it like a. It was
on AMC, so you didn't even get
relationship.
You didn't even get boobs.
No.
Oh, because
Timo. Wait, no, I take it back. I did get boobs because what the hell? It's on Prime. My fault.
There you go.
I did. We did get boobs because
I was say if you didn't get Sybil Danning ripping her shirt off like over and over, because at the end they play this awful song,
weird,
and they start having her just like pop her top off left and right. It's just keep showing that because that is the only reason to watch this movie, and it really is. It's some of the nudity in it. It's about it. It's pretty poor,
awful film. So I really didn't even want to talk about it. So
you brought it up.
So these other ones I kind of want to talk a little bit more, but I have one that's standing in the way that I have to get through. It's another part 2. And I put it on because like I said, I'm in the Halloween spirit, Timo. And Sydney was here the other day hanging out with us, and we were printing. And I taped this the other night for her. And I hadn't seen it for a long time, and I really couldn't remember it, and now I know why. And it's a little movie called Gremlins Part 2.
Oh, okay. The new batch.
Yeah. It's one of the fucking dumbest movies I've ever seen in my life, Tim. I don't know why I didn't remember it until I watched it, and I'm like, I don't know, because Gremlins, I like Gremlins. The first Gremlins is a good movie. I don't care. It's a good little movie. It's a fun little movie. It's a half horror, half, lighthearted, fun movie. It's good. I like it. It was different. It changed the way things were done, I think, a little bit in cinema. It did. It added maybe too much lighthearted stuff to things, but it was a great movie when it came out. This movie's awful, man. Like, what is wrong with this movie? Like, it's got Christopher Lee in it. It's awful.
Yeah, it's a kitchen sink movie too much. They just throw too much at you.
What happened with this? Did this come out like shortly after the first one?
It wasn't super long after it, and it was just too much. I mean, it was
awful, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's all in a building too, right?
It was over
in a business, like in a building.
They're like in New York or something, and him and Phoebe Cates are like
they work for a company,
corporate, or there's a little gizmo that looks like. I don't know, but it's all real like Bugs Bunny, and
it is.
They're a bigger fan of Bugs Bunny than me. I love Bugs Bunny, and I'd punch a guy for dogging Bugs Bunny, but this was just like way too Looney Tunes. It was like I just didn't get it, and I was like, why don't I remember any of this? I was like, because it sucks, Ben. It's bad. It's like, and that's when they started taking Phoebe Cates, who's like one of those, like, could melt the polar ice caps, and made her look like I don't know. They tried to make her like a boy for so many years. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
She was like the beautiful, like one of the most beautiful women ever. And it's just, I don't know. Like, the whole movie was dumb. Like, and even Christopher Lee, like, he's trying to be sort of menacing. And I was like, I felt bad for him. It's one of the worst movies I've ever watched. And I can't believe this was actually a big budget movie.
That movie seems like the comedy's forced. Everything is really forced. They got a few good laughs and chuckles in Gremlins, and they wanted to hone in on those and just run with the whole movie. So what they did is they made a kids movie version of Gremlins because Gremlins was supposed to be kind of a kids movie and a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like no one knew it was rated R or not.
But you had like Dick Miller in it, and he had making light of things or funny. But but it wasn't like forced, like you're saying. Yeah, it's just God, I was so disappointed in watching it. Like, and Sydney didn't even stick around at all for it. She was running around. She didn't give a crap about it. And I was sitting back, kind of printing and doing things, and I'm like, I couldn't wait for it to get over, and I'm like, I'm going to try to see it through, and it got worse and worse as it went on.
So 2 is so forgettable, like you're saying, because there's no story to it. It just wasn't what you expected.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with Gremlins, both movies, is they're not what you expected. So you get people into the first Gremlins movie, it's way more of a horror movie than people expected. Yeah. Then you get them into the second one after seeing the first one, and now you don't give them any kind of horror. You just give them, like just zany, violent comedy almost in a way.
Yeah, it was just bad. Man. Like I was, yeah. It was really dumb. So I apologize, our deep thinkers. Stay away from it. I'm never watching it again.
Deep thinking watching those.
Yeah. All right, 3 more things, Tim. Real quick. I try to go fast. Now this is a movie that I watched at your house. Without you, Timo, I think I watched it. I watched,
Oh, yeah. Part 1, chapter 1, chapter 1.
Yeah, I watched about 3/4 of it the other night. I know the movie. I'll probably go see the next one. I don't think if I'll go and see it in the theater. I'm not really that excited about it. But I don't really like the clown that much, man. He doesn't scare me. I'm more scared of Tim Curry's Pennywise. I am. I don't know why. I just don't. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because he looks like a normal clown. Unless he has his teeth out. But this other one never looks like a normal clown. He looks like some creepy clown. Yeah. Now, creepy clowns don't scare me. They don't. Regular clowns that look a little off because you don't know, that scares me way more than a guy who's got blood all over him, man. I just don't. That's just me, I guess, because I know that you're a creepy clown.
Right.
Now, if you look normal, but you might have this little, I don't know about that guy, then I'm a little more scared. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm a little
like John Wayne Gacy.
There's 2 things I'm a little tired of. Scary clowns, no offense. I'm just saying.
Timo?
In movies, let's say in movies. Yeah. 2 things I'm really tired of. Creepy clowns, I'm over it. All right, I'm done. Yeah. Like, first of all, I can't stand it. I can't stand Tim Curry's It. Tim Curry is awful. That is not a scary movie at all. It's like, hello, Georgie, let's come over here. That's not scary. That sounds abusive to me, and that's just a different thing. Now,
right. Well, that's what I kind of think I liked about it, though, because he's not scary.
Right.
And he's supposed to be your fears when you see, you're supposed to be afraid of.
I hate that, too, though. That's a bad trope for me. Like, when you start playing on people's fears in movies, I know that's it's like one of those movies where nothing real is going to happen. You're just going to kill yourself being afraid of something. I can't stand it. No, hold on.
I know what you're saying.
The second thing besides the clowns I'm tired of is fucking people walking around these nondescript animal heads on. What the fuck is this? So now everybody's wearing either a clown outfit or animal heads. Everything. Have you noticed? Every movie has a guy with a horse head on or a rabbit head, and it's
or a lamb head. It's a weird. Yeah.
Now
I enjoy the story of it because I like the kids type movie like that where the kids are.
Yeah, I like that part of it, like the Stand By Me kind of thing.
Yeah, and E.T. But you know what I mean. So those type of movies with kids, I like. So I kind of gravitate towards the story of it because of that. As a kid, and I think it's cool that they do come back when they're adults. But I don't know.
That's the part I can't stand. But go ahead. I can't stand the adult part. I'm like, oh god.
I don't know enough about the book that I read. Just from what I saw the movie, the first one or whatever. So I'm in on all that. But I just don't really. I don't know some of the stuff in the movie. I'm tired of zombies. There's a couple parts in there where it's zombie stuff, and I'm like, come on, man, you could have done something different. Like there's one part where the kid gets chased by it looks like a homeless person, and it's really cool. It'd be so effective. But then the homeless person looks like a zombie, and it would have looked better if he just looked a little bit more like a real person. To me, it'd have been totally effective. Man, I'd have been terrified as a kid if a homeless person like that was coming at, and that actually happened to me once. But you
deserved it probably.
She looked more like a witch, let me tell you. Yeah. So, anyways, but Yeah, like I don't know. I'm tired of it. I don't need more. I'm tired of the zombie stuff. I'm tired of. I don't know. I'm just a little bit tired of the way some of the movies are made. So, last but not least, Tim, I got to speak on this. All right. Now, I know we spent a lot of time talking about Halloween last week. I try not to speak too much about it, but I did go back and watch Halloween last night.
Okay.
But I watched. Yeah, it was. It was on AMC.
1979, directed by John Carpenter. Okay.
Yes, that one. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell anymore these days.
Oh,
I watched Three's Company. Which episode?
Yeah,
it's about the same at this point. So you watched your original.
Exactly. Yeah, and I went back this time, Timo, because I've watched this movie so many times in my life.
God, yeah.
A lot of times I watch it for scenes, certain scenes. But I promised myself, all right, Ben, you're going to watch it. And I had to force myself and go back and rewind stuff a few times. Because I got distracted or something, or sending texts to my friend Timo, things like that.
Right.
But I tried to watch this movie for what it's really worth. And, it's good and bad because when I get into this mode, it's good for the movie and it's good for Ben, but it could also be bad for the movie. And bad for Ben because I find things. I just got to say that I really enjoyed watching this last night. Like, I kind of got the feeling that when I first watched this movie, as a kid and stuff, the feelings I used to have watching this movie, I got last night and I appreciated. And I also saw things that I hadn't seen before. When I watch these movies like this, again, I focus so much. I get so hyper focused on things that I see good things, but then I also see other bad things. Now, there's a part where, Lindsay is watching television and what's her name gets caught out in the laundry room and the phone rings and it's Paul calling for the first time. And Lindsay's watching the show and it's cool because they come focusing in up on her. I'm like, this seems cool. It's cool. But all of a sudden I saw this thing come jumping up out of like the couch and go up against the wall. And I had to go back. I'm like, what the hell was that? I mean, it happened so fast. And what the hell was that? I went back watching it again and I had to watch it like 4 times. At one point, I was like, was there a cat on the thing that jumps out of the shadows? Or is there something? No. What it was, whoever was running the boom mic or the camera or something, when they came over, you see the shadow go up real fast up against the wall, and then they realize they're in the shot, and they go down real fast. Zoom! And I was like, oh, my God, I've never seen it. But because I'm so hyper-focused and watching it, because I'm so into it, I saw that part, but there's a couple other things in that movie that I still can't wrap my head around, no matter how hard I try.
Well, the movie to me is nothing more than people who had a kind of a bland script with a little bit of interesting stuff going on, but you had Donald Pleasence's performance and him really setting up Michael Myers. I mean, he was setting up on his own. He's scary, but when you hear Loomis, who's completely in complete control of everything, his faculties, he's a smart guy. You can tell he's got an ego the size of a truck, and stuff. And to see this guy out of his control, and he can't control this guy, and he's done everything he can. The cops can't help him. Nobody can help him control this guy.
The cops are blaming him.
Yeah.
For letting him out.
And it's. But the thing is that so you have all of that. Mad. That's good. That's fine. That's been done before. But I think it's nothing more. It's as simple as. You had a bunch of people that were talented who said, well, hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this a different way. Let's do this. Let's make this look right.
And you don't have to be $1 million director to know how to line up a shot. And that's what I think a lot of these people are lacking. And you and I have talked about this. Middle ground, foreground, background. Like, it's just these people back in the day, because they did not have all this technology and all these things that, I'll just go and throw a train coming down the track. Later on, CG. No, you don't have that opportunity to do that back then. That they set this stuff up, and to me, it's living art. It's art to my eyes. You know what I mean? It's like so pleasant to me to watch these things. That's why I love them.
Let me ask so much. Do you think that today, especially in the dawn of CG, and I'm going back to your art school days because I think that's where you're going with this. Is that do you think that with all the CG and the movement and stuff, they've lost the golden ratio?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I don't disagree with that, by the way. I'm just asking because I know it.
In planes in space, you have to have movement, all right? And you have your middle ground, your foreground, and background, okay? Now, in a lot of these new movies, the only time I see any of this stuff that comes to my attention is if you watch a 3D movie, and they're really good nowadays. 3D movies are kick-ass. Mm-hmm. They're good. But you have to know how to make things move through planes and space. You have to have a flow to them. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, what people are doing, they'll have so much stuff coming at you and at your eyes, you really don't have time to enjoy any of this stuff. Right. You know what I'm saying?
There's no reveals anymore. There's punches in the face.
Yes. And for me, I learned a long time ago in art school, and it basically was, and it was just called, we did that, planes in space. And it's just taking perspective and making things work and, you know, have a flow. And that's why if you ever, anything that you ever watch with Spielberg, how the way a scene plays out, it has so much flow. There doesn't have to be talking. There has to be nothing. Mm-hmm. But I think we've lost that over the years because we're so worried about detailing everything and making everything look so real and that we're losing how things actually really work in the real world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. It's exaggerated. Yes. We've gone from under-exaggerated to over-exaggerated.
Yes.
And the under-exaggerated, I think, personally, got to a point with practical effects and stuff that they were learning how to edit things and do stuff to where they can make the movement look more realistic. Yeah. Not that they were doing it with mechanical things. It was editing, how they were shooting things. But it took talent and it took time to do that. Once they could do it all on a computer, the director could come in and look at a screen and go, no, move that guy over there. There you go. There you go. And you can't do that when you have a shot in a real world with real people. You have to go back and reshoot stuff. And that costs a lot of fucking money if you can get the people to even get back to do it. Look what it did to movies like Exorcist 3 and stuff like that. Completely changed them.
Yes.
You know, and but here's the thing. We love Exorcist 3. Mm-hmm. You know, so there's something to be said for you have to get creative in order to fix a mistake.
Yes.
Well, you have to be talented at computers now.
Yes.
And you used to have to get really creative. And actually, it's like Bob Ross said, there is no accidents. You know, it's like they're all happy accidents. You know, we don't make mistakes here. Wish Bob Ross ran my life more, by the way.
Oh, God.
That's not a mistake, Tim. That's a happy accident.
It's a happy accident. Yeah, but like Bob Ross is going to show you, there's going to be a happy little tree in the foreground. There's going to be a lake in the middle ground, and there's going to be a mountain in the background. And you're going to feel like you could walk right into that painting. You know what I'm saying? Because it has perspective, or it has, I don't know.
But that gets back to what I'm talking about, the golden ratio, right? We're all talking about stuff born out of that simple thing, that what makes things work. It's not always dead center in the frame. It's sometimes it's off to the side. It's a mathematical equation. You know, and so people they just don't care anymore. Nobody cares anymore. Everybody at the fucking phone thinks they're Scorsese.
Yeah.
You know,
nowadays your eyes are like you go cross-eyed because everything's going every which way but loose, and you're trying to, you know, and I think what they're doing is they're losing. Loose. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Oh, Lord. That's good. Lay it on me, Timmo.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sad about that. And I think hopefully we're going to get back to that, buddy.
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
We're going to get back to it.
All you deep thinkers that listen. You got to understand, it's not that we're necessarily cane wavers.
No,
we are a little bit, but we're not. But what there were things that didn't need to be fixed in films that seemed like they're being fixed. It's like, no, I mean, I will always go back to Jurassic Park. It's not my favorite movie. I like it. It's a really good movie. It's fun. But the way they made it, the way Spielberg and company made it. Not one person makes these movies, you know.
No. Mm-hmm.
And the way that they took the tools and they didn't do the easiest thing, they did the best thing.
Yes.
If there's an explosion now, like they'll have a shot above the explosion and the main actor will fly 50 feet into the air toward the camera, hover for a second, look at the camera, go, ugh, and then fall back down again. I'm like, who the fuck was filming that? What the fuck? Yeah. What? Just show an explosion?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, you know, because it takes you
awful.
Out of it more.
Yes.
Like, suspension of disbelief is completely gone. And it's gone. It's been gone with me for a long time anyway.
Yes.
But when I see a movie that just says, just ignores it, just says, you know what? No, everybody knows this is a movie. Let's just do what we want to do. No, man. No. I mean, come on. You know, I want to be told, I'm sorry. I still want to be told a compelling story. It's not all about the gore. It's not all about the monsters. It's not, I want the monsters and I want stuff like that and a little bit of carnage. I want to be interested why it's happening. I want to be wondering what's going to happen next. I want to be wondering how's this going to play out? The movie I talked about a couple weeks ago, the Darkest Night movie that I said I really didn't like, it fell apart, but it set me up in a good way. It made me interested in it. It just stopped. It was like somebody had a great idea and then didn't know what else to do and just said, okay, well, here's where we just turn it into like a Today movie. Just no plot, just lots of dark shots, it just stopped. It stopped telling a story. And that's where I lost interest in it, is when it stopped telling a story. It had nothing to do with the action, if there was a monster or not. It stopped telling a story. And it needs both. A movie needs the visuals and it needs the story. You know, you got 16 superheroes fighting in different planets for different things, and they're all making one-liners. And I'm out, man. I'm just like, I'm out, dude. I don't know what's going on. I don't care about this shit. I don't care about any of it. You know, I want to be able to tell a story I can fucking relate to. Yeah. At least a little bit. At least a little bit.
Oh, no. I feel you, Tim. I mean, Tim, it's gotten to the point. It's just, and I really think CGI has gotten worse over the years, or they're just doing so much of it that they have to pump it out so much they just don't have enough people to keep. I don't know, but I don't want to get too far off topic, but I don't know how many of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies there are out there now, but I happened to cross one the other day, and the CGI in it and so much stuff going on is so bad. And they had like a zombie shark, great white shark. And like you were saying, like with a guy coming at you, like they had him like flying over the boat, trying to chomp Johnny Depp, you know, and it just was like, the stuff is so unbelievable, and it looks so bad and so fake that I feel like I'm watching I'd rather watch a cartoon.
But you're making my point. You're doing stuff that you can't, that is impractical in the physical world.
Yes.
That's not how things happen. And so if you can't have something physical do something, even if they're doing something unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Jaws, the shark, as bad as it was, if it came out, it was a shark. It was a rubber mechanical thing.
Yeah.
As bad as it might have been. And because it was there, the little inaccuracies, the little problems with, you know, Quint stabbing the thing, and it looks kind of funny when he's stabbing it. Well, he's still stabbing it. It's still it's still there. It's still happening. Yeah. And if they did it now, they'd clean everything up and make it over smooth, and the camera be flying around. It takes you completely out of it.
Yeah.
All right. So our official film, Mr. Ben Harley, we got to do our official film. All right. So let's see here, from 1968. Now, this is another deep thinker movie. This is pretty deep thinker. We have the Japanese film, The Living Skeleton.
Yeah.
Or as its original title aptly says, Koyatsu do Kurosan. Right? So we know this, right? Okay, all right. So The Living Skeleton, 1968. All right, let me get a movie guy and give you a short storyline synopsis. Here we go.
Okay, yeah.
A young woman living in a seaside town is haunted by the ghosts of a ship's crew murdered by modern-day pirates. Okay.
Okay.
Have a hard time following this one?
You know, maybe I did.
All right.
Well, because all right, sister. I know her sister was her sister.
Hold on. Hold on. Right. Let's get into this. Yeah, let's get it. Okay. So there is this movie. There is a ship, and we don't know why, but it's being taken over by some not very cool dudes, and it looks like one of the people is actually the captain of the ship who's in on this stuff.
Yeah.
So they take the ship over, and then they proceed to just slaughter everybody. They gun them all down. Everybody on the ship, they gun them all down. And so what happens is that as this movie progresses, you start to learn why they took the ship over, what they were after. And then you also start to learn that the people who did the killing are haunted by Japanese versions of ghosts.
Yes.
They're part ghost, part zombie almost in a way.
Yeah.
And then there's a really weird wrench in the system where one of the women has a twin sister.
Yes.
And the twin sister goes around scaring the people too, which is kind of confusing. It kind of like throws everything off, and it's a twist, I think.
Yeah.
And it just starts throwing you off. But that's writing. That's good writing. And I think that sometimes when you watch a movie that's foreign, you get lost quickly thinking that, well, that must just, I guess I'm lost. Yeah, but that's not really what's happening. It's just kind of, you didn't catch something or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, pirates take over a ship and shoot everybody on board.
Yeah. Real dickish.
Yeah, really. And so then this movie is a Japanese Christian horror film in a way. Really? I mean, I'm saying in a way because you go to a Catholic priest. That Japan, I'm sorry, it's not.
That wasn't. Yeah,
that's the first thing I think of in 1968 is a big Catholic push, and I don't know. I wasn't there, but I just So there is a Catholic priest, and he's kind of guiding a woman who's looking for her sister, basically, and her sister was on the ship.
Yes.
With everybody getting killed. So her sister and her boyfriend. Her sister claims that since they were twins, that she just knows things.
Yeah.
She knows when there's problems. They have that psychic connection. And that's kind of the rub of the movie.
Sure.
Everything kind of starts getting pulled through because of that little thing there. So they go out to the ship. They hear the ship comes out of nowhere, man.
Yeah.
The ship starts, it's a ghost ship. So it starts the Dragon King, it's called. So it starts floating around at really crazy times. Like there'll be a character going, I'm afraid of the ship. And they look like, holy shit, there it is. Man, that's some fucking timing, man. That is some timing. I said that a couple times while watching this movie.
Just like the Halloween I was telling you about.
Now this is a twisty story. So it's tricky to explain this and talk about it without too many spoilers. So
I just thought I kept hearing Timo's voice in my ear just saying, go with it. Just like an Italian movie. Right. I know it's not Italian, but just go with it.
Right.
And I did. I enjoyed it.
So what we have here, it's like The Fog.
Yes.
A lot of The Fog in it, the story and the setup and stuff. Meets Carnival Souls, and that's the specters, the dark-eyed specters going around. Okay. Meets The Exorcist. Because of the possession and the Catholic priest. And then it starts going even more off the rails because then not everybody who they appear to be. You have Scooby-Doo demaskings in this movie. There's definitely possession and dark religious overtones that just ooze throughout the whole movie. While the sister is basically going around spooking the pirates. On dry land now. Now this is all over. Like
she got everybody.
Yeah. And you don't know that at first.
Yeah.
That's a twist. So there's one spoiler. So you're like, oh, well, here we go. Yeah, they're getting haunted by one of the women that they killed. No, that's not. That's her sister spooking him. Like, okay, well, is this supernatural or not? Well, that's kind of a trick of the movie.
See, so I thought she was a ghost.
Well, it's a trick of the movie. Who's a ghost and who's not? How ghosty are you and not?
Yeah.
But now the title
got a lot of floating skeletons.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the title is a little weird, misleading, because those Halloween decoration skeletons that were dancing around underwater. Did you hear what I heard? You didn't?
No.
Oh, my God. I told Angie, I even pulled up my phone and pulled the sound up.
Okay.
And said, it's Ghidra.
Oh yeah, okay. All right,
They didn't edit them together. They were separate. That the noises were separate, but they played the same sound effects.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. That's all I was like. I know Ben heard that. I know.
Yeah, because I'm still mad about them not using the Ghidra voice or the new one.
Well, even when I watched the new one, I heard it. Man. I did hear it whenever they first showed him. It's very fleeting. It's very fleeting, but it's there. Yeah.
It's not. It's almost like, okay, well, here's never mind. Right. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. This is a very interesting it's black and white, subtitled in Japanese Ghost Revenge.
And there's not a lot of it's not a lot of reading. Like you don't really, you know what I mean? It's not like so much that, and which I appreciate because I don't mind the subtitles. I love
them. It keeps me in the story better.
Yeah, oh, me too. But I'm just saying, like, I don't mind if it's a foreign film. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was like, I liked this movie. I like the pace of this movie too.
Yeah.
And you know me, I don't like to slow stuff a lot, but when you give me a good one, I love it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I don't watch a lot of these, like the Japanese films, and I need to go back and watch more of these and stuff. My issue is I don't like a lot of the icky stuff, man. I don't want to, you know, and this one was like a fun, just a good spooky horror film.
A little more of a B movie.
Yeah. But same thing with this movie. This movie was the way the shots, everything was set up, was really creepy. It kept everything in a mood the whole time, you know, and the fact that it was black and white, I think just made it even better. You know, it made it, you know, so, I was in this movie the whole time. Now the ending is a little weird, you know, it's a little different, but I'm in. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie.
Right.
And, you know, but I appreciated it. I really appreciate what they're trying to do. You know, I think the Japanese know how to get me into a movie as far as like their horror.
They were good with that deadbeat pace.
Yes. Yeah.
Mechanical. Yeah. Mechanical.
Yes.
Good way to put it. Like a mechanical pace.
Yeah.
For these flourishingly emotional movies, but they would pace them mechanically. Kubrick was great at that. I mean, Kubrick was a genius at that. And these movies, this is like, you take like a movie like Onibaba with all the grass everywhere, and the women like, you know, killing the men coming through and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a B movie version of that genre of film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where there's a supernatural overtone. This is much more supernatural. This is almost like more of a Corman type of thing. Whereas Onibaba would be more of a Kubrick type of thing. Does that make sense? Where they're both good.
For sure.
This one's a little more for the people who like the ooh.
Yeah, that's me. Me. And that's me. I like that. I want that a little bit more. I just, you know, I don't need the blood and guts as much. I like the
skeletons were funny. The skeletons were funny. I mean, they came up and threw you right out of the movie. You're like, whoa. I even looked over to Angie. I was like, man, the Japanese apparently have got some funky looking skulls. Yeah, I didn't know their skulls didn't look human. I mean,
seriously.
You know, it's like, okie dokie. They dig those skulls up in South America and prove aliens exist? You know, that were here hundreds of years ago. It's that funny, but they are that funny. But the thing is, this is a fairly effective, but it has outstanding moments in it.
Yes, for sure.
So it gets a little lull, and then it has an outstanding moment. The thing is that cultural divide makes certain things awkward and confusing at times.
Yeah.
So it still has its spooky moments, and what I kind of like about this is it's surprisingly kind of a kitchen sink movie. It feels like the quality of it and the story of it feels like Dementia 13 a little bit too.
Sure.
It's got that black and white kind of, is this specters? Is it killers?
Yeah.
And the thing is it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything. And even Angie was asking me, she's like, wait a minute, why did that happen? I was like, I think this is that cultural thing where a ghost, to Japanese people, to Asian people, okay, and I'm generalizing here in a way, but I think even someone was sitting here that's like, well, you're kind of right at least. Dork, but you're kind of right.
You better be, yeah.
Ghosts and spirits are like turnips. They exist. There is no, it's a fact. It's like the letter Q. It just is what it is. There is no believing or hunting. It is what it is. So a spirit or a specter or something like that in their world, especially 45 years ago.
Yeah.
It's very real. It is what it is. So when you're watching these movies, you watch an American or a British film and it's like, there's no such thing as ghosts and stuff. Well, that's not what you're watching when you watch a Japanese film or an Asian film.
Right.
So we're in that world right now. So it does become a little confusing as to who's a ghost and who's not. Is anyone a ghost?
Yeah.
But it just makes you want to go back and watch it again. It makes you want to go back and see it again and pick up the pieces that might have fallen to the wayside that you missed.
Yeah.
Because it's compelling, it's interesting, it's kind of entertaining, and there's parts that are fun.
Yeah.
The skeletons are a riot.
Oh, they're awesome. Well, then you got the mad scientist type guy at the end, almost thing.
And the bats, they got rubber bats in it.
Oh yeah. It's there's just a lot, like you said, there's a lot going on, which is good. I mean, not a lot going on, but as far as the kitchen sink, reference is right. There's just it's good, and I'm going to be male chauvinist here for a second, but I happen to find this certain girl in this film to be one of the most prettiest Asian women I've ever seen in my life. Just beautiful. I couldn't take my eyes off her. And I think that worked in this movie because she was kind of deadpan too.
Right.
Ghostly, but she's just so pretty. I couldn't take my eyes off her. She was just such a beautiful woman. And the movie to me had definitely had a mood to it, a feel to it for the whole time. The whole time for me. And that's what I like about these. And I think I need to start watching a few more of these Japanese films because I think it is more, some of that stuff is more the eerie, spooky stuff that I like nowadays more than I do anything else. I just do. It's spooky. It's scary to me. You really don't know. And they take time to set up shots and make things look cool.
Right.
And make things look cool and not so bland.
Right.
And you don't, it wouldn't take much more to set up a shot that, with something extra in it to make it look cool. And that's all, and so I appreciated this movie a lot. I enjoyed it much more than I thought. And it started with those skeletons too. I was like, oh no, here we go. What do we got going on here? And it made it fun. It didn't take me out of it. I enjoyed it, so.
It did throw me out of it a little bit, but it didn't ruin the movie. It made it more interesting and a little more fun. We are talking about 1968. So if this was a movie that was made 10 years ago and they would have showed that, I'd be like, come on now. But I can't get off those skulls. They didn't even look mildly human.
No.
I mean, it was like,
no.
Anyway.
No, those are the skulls you buy at, this one these are the ones you put a candle on top of to let wax go around so you don't see the face. Yeah.
Right. But no, it is. It's an interesting film. It's a rare film. I mean, Criterion put this out in a collection that they called When Horror Came to Shochiku.
Oh, Shochiku.
So that it was a series of films. This is one of them. You have the other ones. I think we did one of the other films.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I can't remember which one it was. I'm a little impressed by these. Now, I don't just like movies because they're Japanese or foreign and stuff. I do love these movies, but I've gone through the weeds in some of this stuff. And some of it's goofy, and some of it is so, culturally different that I can't even find a footing in them. I mean, there really is. There's some movies like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are. And I've come across some of those, too. I'm like, I can't even. I'm out.
Right. I'll appreciate the artistry of them. But then there's other movies that are like that, like Onababa, that should throw me out, but don't. Because they're so fucking compelling. Woman in the Dunes is another one. So compelling. And this is, like I said, a B movie version of that. If Corman was Japanese and lived in Japan, he would have made this film to answer those other more, you want to call them classy films, fine.
Yeah.
But this has every bit of atmosphere.
It does.
And quality to the performances. Everything is taken seriously. It's not a bunch of Japanese people running around looking overly scared.
Yeah.
Like can do in Godzilla movies where it looks like they're about to pull their skin off because they're, it's a little
out of their mind scared.
Yeah, it's a little over the top sometimes. It's like, I don't know about that. But, and the other thing too is the Japanese, I mean, they know how to do revenge movies.
Oh, they sure do.
They know how to do revenge stories.
They sure do.
This is a revenge story. So, I mean, they know what's going on. They know how to do these. And you want these people to get what's coming to them. I wish they would have. The only thing about the movie is I wish they would have honed a little bit harder on who was who. Honed harder. Because they would show a pirate and do a quick flashback of the beginning of the movie to remind you who this person was.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a few this guy, he kept changing. He looked like the priest for a while, the boss. And then it was the boss. He fought that guy. He's like, wait, no. Oh, boss, I didn't know it was you. He said, yeah, because I look like the priest. Like, wait, okay. All right, I'm lost.
Yeah. Well, that's the Scooby-Doo moment.
Yeah, which is okay.
Right.
I'm good with it. There was some good dissolves, kind of weird, where guys got dissolved in you know.
Well, that's the other rub too.
Weird,
that's the other thing that throws you off, because it's like they were after this substance or chemical that just eats through everything.
Yeah.
It was almost like the blood in Aliens, so you can throw that in there too. Because it just turned people into mush and then started eating through the hull of the ship.
Yeah. Just go with it. I was just going with it, Tim. I just said, Tim would just tell me, sit back and go with it. But I like this because this is atmospheric. And that's what I like about movies. I have to have that with these horror films. I have to.
Right.
I mean, I just, and Halloween is atmospheric.
Right.
Completely from start to finish, from the music to the first leaf that drops on the ground when they're playing. You know what I'm saying? It is. And that's what I need in these movies. I'm tired of all the crazy zaniness and the stuff. I just like, this movie to me is scarier than most of the movies that come out, and it's not that scary, but it's atmospheric and you feel it, and so.
Well, and that's the thing, and they're very good at that too, revenge and atmosphere, and this is. And it's not lacking in either one. So I'm going to give the movie a solid grape ape up. I think it was good. Not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, and I hadn't seen it before. So that makes me happy.
Me either.
And for a guy like me, that's huge. I want new stuff, but unless someone today gives me something new that will tell me an interesting story or show me something that does something for me, I'm just going to go back and try to find these things now.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is what it is,
and I'm glad. I'm glad that you've shown me a couple of these. Like Omnibaba and stuff. I enjoyed. And this one especially, I really did enjoy it a lot. Actually, I thought it was good.
It's shot really well. The photography is really good in it too, and everything else.
Yeah.
So, these are all Criterion, by the way. Put this stuff out only on DVD, as far as I know. That's what I have.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
A set of DVDs, But unfortunately, when the Blu-rays come out. Angie was listening to this, like, there goes more of our money. I'll be getting them because they're worth it. They're definitely worth it. So, all right, well, good, solid grape ape up from me for The Living Skeleton. How about you, Harley?
Yeah, me too. Not quite to the rafters, but almost.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So
I did enjoy it a lot. I really did.
Right. It was cool. It was fun to watch. So, and I will definitely watch it again. So, all right, Mr. Ben Harley, until next week. When what we bring you is going to be brilliant and surprising.
Yes.
And including to us, because we have no idea what that's going to be at this point. So,
we do not. No.
Until then, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.